Hello everybody, my name is Aceface. We're going to be trying out the Enforcer again in T4 Dark Abyss. Dark Abyss is really nice to do, especially the T4s, because those cost like hardly anything. Go for like a bit, half a million ISK or something like that, 600k ISK the last time I checked. They're really cheap filaments to do, and if you are able to do them, so even in a cruiser, you can earn some really nice ISK just off the profitability you get because of how little you have to spend on the filament. So I've been trying out this Enforcer fit before. I did have some success, but I obviously need to do more tests to state that it's a pretty solid fit. And the reason I am going with Darks is because first off, the Webifier is pretty good on this. It gets buffed with the large range, and then also the dark sites make so that we don't have to tank as much, because they have it so that the optimal range of enemy ships are reduced. You go faster. Generally speaking, it's quite a lot easier to avoid damage, and we don't have a lot of mid slots to spare to put a lot of tank on, especially if we're not going extremely hard with the bling. I mean, we are going still pretty hard, like a C-type multispectrum, X-type large shield booster, but we could obviously go with like some crystal implants and that kind of stuff. We're not doing that kind of stuff here. So it has a pretty good burst tank, to say the least, so I think that'll be pretty decent in the dark side. Before we start getting into this, I'm going to announce the winners of the previous skin giveaway. This was for the Megathron Scope Syndication skin right here, this one right here. 5 lucky winners are Zephyr Ricky, Banjo Robinson, Cannonbro, Tasman Devil, and Dacian Carr. You guys are all going to get yourselves contracted to you a Megathron Scope Syndication skin in due time. So I hope you guys enjoy that, flying in style with your Megathrons, or if you decide to not use it, hope you earn some dank ISK from selling it. Anyway, let's jump into the Abyss now. Got everything prepped up here. We have some basic implants going on, like not some super bling implants, some basic implants going on. 003s, the 3% ones, just to get some extra damage, extra application. It's quite essential since in the dark side stuff is moving fast. It makes our missiles apply worse. Obviously it's not as bad as the turrets, because the turrets get the optimal range reduced as well. Still, when stuff moves fast, it makes so that our missiles apply worse. And stuff we have to take into consideration that we're not always going to have the best application, so we want to amp that up by quite a big margin. And that's also why we're using a synth crash booster, and then we've got a synth blue pill and then an agency hardshell 1 that costs basically nothing. Really cheap boosters right there that can be good to have, just to give you just that little extra performance jump that could be needed to do this stuff a lot more efficiently. Okay, let's jump in. I'm quite curious how we'd handle the angel wave. That is something I'm quite curious about, because I think we most definitely have enough tank to survive it, but I doubt that we'll have the capacitor, or I have doubts at least that the capacitor might be a little bit not strong enough, because we don't have a stable capacitor. This whole setup is really made to be so that we only use the tank when we need to. It's like a manual tank, so we have very good shield boosting, but it's still nothing like amazing when you factor in the capacitor. Okay, so we're using some Caldari Navy over here, and we can sort of keep range, I guess. What was our range with Scorch? 17 kilometers, okay. Here, it'll be quite easy, I think, to kite these devoted knights because of the dark side reducing the optimal range. They will hit hard though, but as long as we keep range, it should be pretty good. Let's see if we can hit this trapper over here. Maybe Webify him a bit. You know what? Let's just try circling in on the cruisers, or maybe at least take out as many frigates until we circle in on the cruisers. Because the thing is, these guys are getting close, and they will hit hard when they get up close and personal. You just want to be careful right there. And this is not a good damage type here. We want to use Caldari Navy Mjolnir. Mjolnir is what we want to use. See now, the ones that are close. These are the ones that are close. Devoted Priest. There we go. Shoot him with the pulse laser. Okay, now we can lock up the knights. The knights, the big damage dealers, so we'll go for these guys instead. And I'll not waste my ammunition, or at least my energy beams, pulse lasers, because they have really the worst range ever. I won't be able to hit these frigates anyway. Even then, they're still pretty fast Sancho frigates. Ooh, we're getting tracking disrupted. Oh, come on. Okay, so let's see now. The Heralds are the ones we want to take out. I was thinking, why am I not hitting? I was way beyond 30 kilometers because our Caldari navies are like 30 something kilometers. Okay, let's take out this Devoted Herald over here. Aggro that I'm outputting is going all over the place. It's really annoying. Let's see now, where's our range here? Not enough range. We're going to have to use Scorch still. Everything is just really messed up when it comes to the turrets in the dark side. Wait, why am I not shooting? Oh, and I'm wasting my capacitor too. I've had a 10-hour shift today. It's maybe telling by how badly I'm piloting right now. Capacitor all gone. Now the whole aggro is messed up. Got this guy repping because I was not using the Webifier, so I'm going to be obviously doing less damage to him. When this one over here, who wasn't taking the Webifier right here. There we go. Popped like that. Let's Webify this guy. Come on, stop just doing these single cycles. I want to keep shooting. There we go. No, he just went out of web range. Annoying. The Enforcer is nice with its bonus web range. Just love that web range. It could be a possibility actually to use the Domination, I think it is, the Webifier. Zach, a fellow YouTuber, really cool stuff. When he does the Abyssal stuff, he really likes using the Domination one because it actually has more range than the Federation Navy that I'm using. The only thing is the Federation Navy does a bit more Webifying strength. Has 60% Webifying strength. While the Domination has a naturally, I think, 16 or 18 kilometer range. Like we're getting bonus from the ship. But the Federation Navy, I think, is 14 kilometers or something like that. I personally, I think the trade-off for speed and range is good with the Federation Navy, but especially when you're running something like the Enforcer with already a good web range, when you go with the Domination that has like a really big web range to begin with, I think maybe it'll be a good thing because then you will just be webifying from like 2 miles away, or no, actually a lot longer than that because we're in spaceships. We're not 2 miles, we're many kilometers away right here. So 100 kilometers away. Now, just joking, but a really boss web range to say the least. Okay, we saw we took some big hits right there, and I think it's because we were taking hits by the Knights. But luckily, it seems like we have a very good time keeping range to them. Because the Devoted Knights, they're pretty slow naturally. And they seem to even be slower than us. I'm surprised. I thought they would be faster than an Enforcer. We got a Wrecking Shot as well. The Enforcer is a pretty slow ship, not particularly fast at all. Tech 2 ships in general are pretty slow. They are pretty slow, I've noticed. This is just a general trend. There obviously are some fast Tech 2 ships, but like when I fly heavy assault cruisers, interdictors, the recon, like the Enforcer, they tend to be pretty slow, like 600 meters a second. The Gila is fast; it goes like 700 meters a second with a good AB. It's it's not the fastest ship either. The Orthrus, the pirate ship, is much faster than the Gila, but we're still, even though we're pretty slow, able to outrun these Devoted Knights. So that's some good thing that's going on for us right here. But you can see here, like, we don't need to use our tank all the time. This is what I mean, like, with the manual sort of tank here in the dark side. Because these guys, they can't hit us. So we're just really going to have to be just chilling around here, just using the tank whenever we need to. And that's one thing that I think is nice about the large shield booster, because it will give us, like, a very big amount of boost per second, but it won't give as much, like, over time when the capacitor runs out. But usually here you don't have to. We're getting so many wrecking shots. Like, look how many wrecking shots we've been taking. Like, I took many before, but it seemed like the margin that wrecking shot, it took like 600 damage, and I felt like I've taken many 600 damage shots so far. So they've been very lucky with the wrecking shots, these Suntra guys. And ooh, this time is not good for a T4. That's absolute crap. Man, this is not good at all, actually. What is that? 6 minutes for a T4? Almost more than 6 minutes. That is really bad. We'll take a screenshot right here. This looks really cool scenery. Let's see now what is that. And it's not like we're using a particularly cheap fit either. Oh man, 6.5 minutes? That is basically means if we do this time and the next two rooms, we will actually die to time. That's not a good thing at all. Considering how much we've spent on this ship. Like, I think this goes for the 700-800 million at least, this whole ship and fit. Definitely should be able to do better than this. Devoted Knights again. Let's go. Alright, so now we're just going to basically take out those stupid tracking disruptor guys, but I don't think we've got any on the grid, in fact, so that'll be good. We'll lock up these knights over here. Probably the hunter. I think the hunter's Webifier, so you want to be a bit careful for those guys. Can start shooting with assault missiles over here. Heavy assault missiles, not just assault missiles, but heavy assault missiles. I wonder if there are assault missiles that exist. I don't think so. Nothing exists in the game called assault missiles. Only heavy ones. Some things I think about at night. Why did we not have standard assault missiles? I guess you could say rockets are sort of like that, because rockets are like the short range ammo that's smaller than heavy assault missiles. So I think that if you were to have something called assault missiles, then it would probably be the heavy assault or the rockets. Rockets, they're particularly like a funny weapon system because they don't do like insane damage like other close range weaponry, but they still have pretty short range. So I never really found much use to them, but I have seen people doing crazy stuff with them on a Gamma though. Like I've seen someone, I think he was running like T2 Abyss in a Gamma, and he was using rockets because the rockets, they have really good range bonus in the Gamma. So he was able to like do still a lot of damage because, you know, he's using a close range weapon, the rockets, and then able to kite stuff really well because the Gamma is so fast. I think I'll try that out myself sometime. Seem really cool to use a Gamma to do T2s, because T2s in a frigate still gives pretty decent ISK. I mean, if you're able to do them, it depends all really how fast you do them. Thing is, there's not a whole big difference between T1 and T2 frigate Abyss when you factor in like the time it takes to do them in a frigate, because you usually do the T2s a lot, takes a lot longer to do them than in T1. So that's why it's not like, oh, straight up double my ISK, even though you earn about, like, per site, double or maybe even more, like, ISK per site, but it's usually not the case just because of the way the sites, they take a lot longer. Like, the battleship waves become significantly more tanky compared to T1 to T2. Like, Charybdis Tyrannos dies super fast in T1, but it has actually a significant amount of HP there in the T2. And also, in the T1s, the Vedmak waves can be pretty like chill there, but when you go to T2s, you suddenly have 2 Vedmaks that can spawn in, and it can be pretty hefty challenge for your tank, and you'll probably have to sacrifice some DPS, making it further more even slower. So I actually like to run T1s in frigates quite a bit, but T2s are definitely possible and a very good upgrade if you're able to run them decently well in a decent amount of time. Like a Retribution I've used, you can run them really well, the T2s. I should do more videos on that sometime because it's some pretty fun stuff you can do with the Retribution. And speaking of time, it seems like our Enforcer is actually getting this room done a bit quicker. I guess I focused a bit more. I wasn't like AFKing like in the first wave where I was shooting completely the wrong thing with the wrong damage type, when I was being tracking disrupted, when not being able to shoot anything in any kind of range. So think I'm just learning the room a bit better with this fit at least. There's a lot of that when it comes to time in the Abyss. It's a big thing is just to do with a bit of muscle memory. Knowing how to do the sites properly in a timely fashion can really make or break like the T6 rooms, where you have to have a lot of skill or a lot of knowledge of the waves to do them fast, because you really are very time constrained in the T6s. There's a lot of stuff to kill there, and you need to be careful not to get popped there to time. Alright, so we don't have any Caldari Navy. I really need to pack more stupid ammunition in this thing. I don't pack a lot of ammunition in my Enforcers. The Enforcers needs more ammunition. I think it has something to do with it. Doesn't it have a big cargo bay or something? Okay, 300 meters. Nah, it's alright. Oh, this could be a pretty nasty wave right here. Okay, Caldari Navy Nova. Starving Vedmax. What the hell, man? There's a lot of Vedmax and bad ones too. Okay, use the drones. This is going to be tight. Going to have to overheat here the missiles, because this will be tight right here. We could get popped right here. Very possible that we could get popped right here. We're going to have to overheat the missiles as much as we can and just move to the side right here. And try to use as much tank as we can before our capacitor gets drained from these 2 starvers over here. Okay, good, good, good. It doesn't seem like they're able to hit us a whole lot. That's one really nice thing about the dark site. But we are in a minus 50% dark site. They are harder than the minus 70%. Ooh, wrecking shot right there. The minus 70%, they make their optimal range even worse than this. So they're very nice, those minus 70% ones here. It's a bit problematic because they're going to be able to hit us a bit better. Oh, the background is pretty cool here in this dark side, I will say. Okay, stop overheating there. We don't need to overheat, burn out our missiles, and just turbo fail right there. Yeah, you see what I mean? We have a good tank, but we can't use this forever. Our capacity is soon running out. Have we got a starving dam over here? Yeah, there's a starving dam over here. We can take this out next. We should Webify this as well. Gosh, what am I doing? Webifying actually helps, even on the cruisers, to do more damage. It does help. You wouldn't think the heavy assault missiles will apply back to cruisers, but they do, and especially in the dark side even. Not in normal Abyss, the heavy assault missiles apply pretty crap to cruisers, but they apply even worse in the dark side. So that's why the Webifier, essential even on cruisers. Okay, this Vedmak is next. Keep moving. The most important thing here is just that we keep moving, so that we break their damn spool so they can't hit us all the time. Okay, so it seems like everything's clearing out right here. That all the starvers are off the grid, so now our cap is a bit more safe. The only thing that could be a bit problematic is this Vedmak here. He can do a lot of damage, but I think he'll be alright. We'll kill him pretty quickly now. His shields are down. You know, funny thing is that if you go for Vedmaks and Triglavians, it could sometimes be better to actually go with thermal weaponry. Not all the time. It depends a little bit from Triglavian to Triglavian. But you'll sometimes see that certain Triglavians, I don't think these guys have very, like, close thermal to explosive in their armor. Oh, need to take some shield boosting. But there's some Triglavians I've noticed that have basically like 3% difference in their like thermal to explosive resistance. Like they'll have maybe 3% less explosive resistance and thermal resistance, and it can actually be worth to use a thermal there because the Triglavians always have a much lower thermal resistance in their shields than explosive, so their shields will actually go down quicker, even though their shields are very small, but they do take a bit of time, like I was noticing in the beginning on those Vedmaks. Oh, my Hornets, man, what's going on with those Hornets? The Vedmaks were taking a bit of time to take out those shields. So, I think that you have to be a little bit careful for... Or not careful, but it can maybe save a little bit of time if you're time constrained slightly. And you've got a lot of deadly waves on the grid that want to kill you and you need to kill them fast. Killing stuff fast is always a sort of an indirect way of tank. And there's a spider right now on my screen. A big fat one as well. We just I was just like, what the heck right there? I didn't make it. I was thinking that's a part of the game. Is there a spider here? No, he's just like crawling all over my monitor right now. I'm going to have to take this guy outside on the balcony. It's alright. I luckily don't live in a country where spiders are dangerous. There's just a bit of shock right there because I thought it was like a part of the background or something, and then I thought it was like an asteroid. Then suddenly, what? It was a spider? Or like I thought maybe it was a ship or something. Yeah, that was you'll see now he's crawled somewhere here. The hunt will be on IRL soon. Unfortunate that one of my Hornets got popped right there in a crossfire. I didn't expect him to die very quickly, but those Damaviks who caught him not so long ago, Tanglers, they did get him real good, my Hornet II right there. But I'm happy that we managed to pull through. My Enforcer managed to pull through in the dark side, and it was a minus 50% too, so that was very good because the Triglavians can be pretty deadly with how much damage they do, and this makes them do more damage. If we had a minus 70% optimal, it would make them do less damage even, because they would have an even harder time hitting us. But we managed to do this in a minus 50%, so that's a very good benchmark, at least when it comes to the Triglavian waves. I still have a bit of doubts when it comes to the Angel wave. We'll see when if I manage to get that some other time in the future. So there we go. T4 Dark done in the Enforcer again. I'm still not happy with it. Like, it's still an expensive ship and it doesn't do this particularly well. Like, it's no amazing time at all right here. This is like the time I complete T6s in. So I'm still not happy with this. I wish there was some way to get the Enforcer to do T4 Abyss a lot better than this and a cheap fit as well. And if you guys have any suggestions for any Enforcer fits, leave them in the description below. I'd really appreciate that a lot. I can test them out myself, make videos about them. So hope you guys enjoyed the video right here. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.